make Vancouver the coolest place. And Toronto is now the coolest place with all these wonderful cafes, with this great change that's going on here in Toronto in the retailing of seeds and the retailing of cannabis and the facilities that allow people to smoke cannabis. The amount of medical marijuana growing going on and medical marijuana activism coming out of Toronto has dominated the court, has shown up on the media all over the country. Even the movie Escape to Canada, showing what a wonderful, enlightened place we are, is really all about Toronto. So Toronto is really now the beacon of hope for much of Canada.
All right.
And it's important because as I stand before the edifice of my arch enemy, the DEA, here at the U.S. Consulate, where they hang out in 78 countries in the world outside the United States, collecting information on our culture, rounding us up, helping to send us to gulags in the United States. Remember, since the whole world signed the Single Convention Treaty in 1961 at the behest of the United States, 26 million people have been arrested and jailed and rounded up, and many millions have been kept in jail for years and years and years. Just to give you an example of both the cruelty and the absurdity of the drug war, I don't think you can stand up there though, sweetie. I face 31 to 35 years as a drug trafficking kingpin. The only one the DEA said even exists in Canada. I'm the #1 drug trafficking kingpin because I sold seeds through Canada Post for 10 years. And I'm proud I did that. I admit it. There'll be no dispute about the facts. I sold millions of seeds to hundreds of thousands of people with a clear intent to thwart the U.S. government, to thwart their drug war, to make sure that pot was everywhere in America, around the world, that everybody who wanted to be self-sufficient would have their marijuana, anybody who needed it for medical reasons would have their medical marijuana, and that when they sent me that money, I would use it to subvert the drug war through peaceful democratic means. And so we gave away $4 million over 10 years to all the groups around the world, from the Israeli Marijuana Party to the New Zealand Marijuana Party to the Global Marijuana March to the Supreme Court hearing in 2003 to ballot initiatives in Washington, D.C., Alaska, Nevada, Arizona. We gave millions of dollars of the money that was sent to us for those seeds away, and I don't regret any of it. Not a bit of it. And I would do it again if I could, but I can't sell seeds anymore. So you've got to carry the torch. I'm so glad to see that people in Toronto are willing to do that there's action here, that the center of Canada is also the center of the activism, and I'm really glad to see that, because we've had a chill in Vancouver since they raided me. Since they raided me, it's not so cool in Vancouver anymore. It's kind of down crestfallen because the police have broken into our happy habitat where we thought we were always free, where we've had 3 mayors in a row say we should legalize marijuana, but they still round us up. You know, where they say marijuana should be taxed and legalized even at Vancouver City Hall, but they still shut down Decline and arrest everybody. They shut down places all the time. David Malma-Levine knows what it's like. He's been arrested lots in Vancouver and had his shop shut down. And I have too. And in Vancouver, a lot of us have seen a lot of cops. And I gotta tell you, Toronto people just don't see that. You probably are hipper. And I'm really glad to see it. But nonetheless, the new conservative government wants to have mandatory prison sentences for everybody who grows marijuana and who sells marijuana. Now think about that. The United States has 70 times the prison population, 7 times the prison population in per capita numbers. And that's been totally the responsibility of the drug war. In 1972, the United States and Canada had identical ratio of prison population, and now they have 7 times more by ratio than we do, because they are jailing all the marijuana people. They're jailing drug users, traffickers, sellers, people who grow marijuana. They're taking away people's kids all the time in Canada and America because we smoke and grow marijuana. We lose our jobs, we go to jail. Many of us, 16% of all people serving life sentences are there for drug trafficking or marijuana growing. My friend Mike Smith is serving 2 years now of a 30-year sentence in Oklahoma for growing 200. Thanks everybody for coming. I look forward to seeing all of you later on and having a wonderful time in this new advanced Toronto. And thank you for coming, and ever forward.